it still feels surreal right now. Like I'm still trying to keep my emotions intact, but this is an amazing feeling right now. Just be ready. Big things coming. Big things coming, man. They forgot the hat. I'm official now.
I like how LeVeon Bell was talking to the camera while he was flipping through the contract as if he was reading it. Wait, hang on. I'll be right back. I got to read this page. Just sign the thing and move on. Your agent took care of all that for you. But LeVeon Bell now officially a member of the New York Jets, jumping from the Steelers. We're going to do some free agency prop bets now. We're going to start with LeVeon Bell. He's had a year off from football, if you haven't heard. He will be a key ingredient in the Jets offense. Over-under for total yards from scrimmage for LeVeon Bell, 1,800. Big Cat, you going over or you going under? That's a stupid question. You always go over.
No, I might go under here. I don't know how to, the guy took a year off of football. I think it's a very weird and unique case here where we don't know what a guy who takes a year off in his prime, not because of injury, just because a year off because of the contract situation. I'd lean under here. I'm going to go under with this one. Because who's to say that halfway through the season, he doesn't want to take the rest of the season off to wait for his next contract?
I'll go under for other reasons. I mean, you've got the injury factor, and how many times do we see it? The guy who hasn't played football in a long time, he gets banged up, and you got to get that callus back on, as Jim Harbaugh would say, and maybe the callus is gone, and it's going to take him a while to really get back to the kind of guy that he was. What kind of offensive line are the Jets going to have? I know they traded for Kelechi Osemele, but the Steelers, who had a very bad offensive line last decade and somehow won 2 Super Bowls with a very bad offensive line. They've had a great offensive line in recent years under Mike Munchak, the offensive line coach who has since left for Denver. That has helped LeVeon Bell. It's easy to have patience and pick your spot when you aren't being swarmed by defenders. And that's where the offensive line comes in. So I'm going to agree with you on this. I mean, we're caught up in what LeVeon Bell could do with Sam Darnold, but 1,800 is a high bar, and I don't think he's going to make it. Maybe next year, but not this year.
And one last point to add on, I mean, LeVeon Bell, let's remember that he always had some little nagging leg issues, that happened a couple of years in a row there with the Steelers. So do you want to bet that he's going to play all 16 games? I wouldn't make that bet.
Yeah, and you also have to assume that Sam Darnold is going to be able to take advantage of whatever Le'Veon Bell can do. If Darnold can't get the ball down the field, that gives defenses even more reason to stack up and stop Le'Veon Bell. All right, Odell Beckham Jr., gone from New York, enters the Cleveland Browns. Over-under on receiving yards for Beckham this year, 1,100.
I'm taking the over on this one. The Browns are going to be one of the most explosive offenses in the NFL. Odell Beckham, what is Odell Beckham's number one threat? That slant route. Baker Mayfield throws it very, very well. I think they're going to be explosive all year long. I think with the other weapons that they have in David Njoku and Jarvis Landry, I think it's going to be hard to just focus on Odell Beckham. And let's just think about what Odell Beckham's coming from. The New York Giants, where there weren't a lot of weapons, and you had an old Eli Manning throwing to you, to now a young guy who can extend plays and other weapons around you. I think his life is going to be easier. I think he's going to have more than 1,100 yards.
And then you got Nick Chubb at tailback, who's done a great job for them in his rookie year. Kareem Hunt, at some point, we assume in 2019, will be cleared to play. That's just even more reason to soften up a defense if you have guys banging it between the tackles and gaining yards. So I think the Browns could have an explosive offense, and Odell Beckham Jr. is going to, I agree with you, be over 1,100 yards. Let's stay with Cleveland. Baker Mayfield. I think he tied the record for single-season touchdown passes for a rookie last year. He broke the record. He was close to it at the end of the year, and he did indeed break it. Baker Mayfield this year, over under 29.5 touchdown passes. What do you got?
This is the easiest over in the world. Who set this line? Did you set this line, Florio?
No, I never set the lines. It's a real line. It's a real line, so get your money. It's a real line. Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah, this is the easiest over. I'm thinking he's going to have, 35. Would 40 shock you?
40 wouldn't shock me. Nothing's going to shock me out of this guy. The guy's special, and now you've given him one of the best receivers that the NFL has seen in the last 20 years. I think, of course, he's going to sail over 29.5.
Yeah, if he plays all 16 games, I would be shocked if he didn't get in the high 30s here next year.
You came dangerously close to applying the jinx. Do not apply the jinx to Baker Mayfield. You said if he plays all 16 games. Why wouldn't he play all 16 games?
You're so stupid. You can't jinx these things. Come on, we're just two guys talking.
You're trying to get ahead of it now. You don't want the Browns fans loading up your Twitter mentions saying you've jinxed Baker Mayfield.
Browns fans, don't do this.
You're not now. Now that you've jinxed Baker, if he plays 16 games, you're implying he may get injured. Antonio Brown, his pass catches for the Oakland Raiders, now that he's got a new team, the over-under is 95.5. I know where I'm going on this one. I want to hear what you have to say.
Over, easily, because you don't trade for Antonio Brown and not get him the ball, and you also don't keep Antonio Brown happy if you don't get him the ball constantly. I feel like the entire offense is going to run through Antonio Brown to keep him happy, because what was this move? This was a move to have a star for Las Vegas when they make that move soon in the next couple years. Antonio Brown's got to be happy. He's got to feel like he's the center of the offense. He is going to have 107 catches this year.
All right, write that down, and let's alert our friends at Old Takes Exposed about this one, because the one ingredient that you are overlooking, and we haven't had you on your show this week to talk about the aftermath of this trade, and you apparently haven't listened to the show either, so thank you for that, because
Absolutely
you know my opinion on this if you had. Derek Carr is the wild card in all this, and I don't believe that Derek Carr is going to be able to accurately place the ball the way that Antonio Brown is used to getting it from Ben Roethlisberger, and I think that Derek Carr is going to cause this whole thing to blow up, and this is step one toward getting everyone on board with the idea that Derek Carr isn't the answer, and by next year, and maybe by next year it will be 107 because they'll have a different quarterback when they go to Las Vegas. But this year, if it's Derek Carr as the quarterback, Antonio Brown's not getting to 95 catches.
Quite an assumption by you to assume that Derek Carr will be the quarterback this year. Who's to say?
You're going next level beyond the next level with that one.
They have 3 picks in the first round, Mike. That feels like a lot of stuff. If they like a certain quarterback, if they like a certain 5'8" quarterback a little bit more than everyone else,
5'8" and 220-pound Kyler Murray. And I know that there are reports out there that John Gruden really likes him. I don't know that he has the patience to work with a rookie quarterback. That's been part of his reputation for the last 20 years. He likes older guys. He likes more experienced guys. He likes guys who get it and understand how it works at the NFL level. But, yeah, you know what? If I guess I'd want to wait and see what happens after the draft before putting my money down on the over-under for Antonio Brown. Because if it is Derek Carr, I'm taking the under. Because there's no way Derek Carr is completing 95-plus passes to Antonio Brown this year.
Stats, will you please put that in the book that I just moved Mike Florio off his position? It's only 7:43 in the morning. We're in the first hour, and I've already got him off one of his positions.
Usually it takes you an hour to warm up, so I'm impressed that you got. Yeah, I'm bracing for the onslaught in hour 3, and now you got me in the second hour of the radio side, first hour of the TV side. That always confuses me. Deshaun Jackson back in Philadelphia with Carson Wentz. The band is kind of back together, but he's never played with Wentz before. The over/under for Deshaun Jackson receiving yards is a mere 900.
I'll take over here. I think Carson Wentz has probably had a lot of humble pie this past year. You know, obviously they win a Super Bowl with Nick Foles. He comes back. He's not great. And then all of the talk about him not being a great teammate and the anonymous sources, I think he's going to spread the ball around. Because we saw it last year. Carson Wentz, when he was playing, it was basically Zach Ertz. So I think he will spread the ball around. I think with Alshon Jeffrey still there and Deshaun Jackson spreading, stretching the field, the Philly offense is going to be dynamic. I will take the over for Deshaun Jackson, 900 yards.
Yeah, I agree with you as well. The guy's got like 28 touchdown receptions in his career of 50 yards or longer. It's a lot easier to get to 900 when you're gaining yards in big chunks like that, and he can still run behind defenses. And he's, the Eagles, we have the kind of like this weird sense the Eagles weren't very good last year. They made it to the final 8. They got it together. And if Wentz can stay healthy, and that's not a jinx, Eagles fans, that's reality that you've lived the last 2 years. If he can stay healthy, they can be very special this year. All right, this is one I've been holding just for you. Nick Foles, Jacksonville, touchdown passes, over/under 21.5.
That's a good line. And I honestly, I'll take over just because of the league and how it's all set up and quarterback. It's a quarterback's league. I don't know if anyone's told you that, Mike. I just took you to school.
I haven't heard that. Yeah, thank you.
I'll take the over there. Although I'm not super sold on Nick Foles in Jacksonville. I think Nick Foles, the run that he made in the playoffs in the Super Bowl run was unbelievable. I think Doug Peterson and Nick Foles together is a dynamic, duo. I think Nick Foles without Doug Peterson has been a different guy. And we've seen Nick Foles a lot. Like, he started for an entire year, that Chip Kelly year where they went on from him and he had, 2 interceptions that entire year? I think Nick Foles is good, not great. I'll take the over, but if you set it at 27, I'd go under.
One key factor in all of this, and we're going to be talking more about Foles next segment. Will John DeFilippo, who's getting another chance to be an offensive coordinator, will he be trying to sell himself as a head coach like he did in Minnesota last year and skew too much toward the pass? Or will he incorporate Leonard Fournette, run the ball? That could cut down on the touchdown passes, but it could make it more likely that this will work as a team in Jacksonville. All right, last one. Which player on a new team has the highest selling jersey in 2019?
Ooh, I'm going to go Antonio Brown Raiders because I think any Raiders jersey, Raiders jerseys are the classic look, the silver and black. You have the crossover with Raiders jerseys. We're not even, if you're a Raiders fan, even if you're not a Raiders fan, that's a cool jersey to own. I'm going to say Antonio Brown, Oakland Raiders.
And, I like that one because who else are you going to get a jersey for on the Oakland Raiders, all due respect? But Odell Beckham. How do you not want that brown and orange with Beckham and 13 on it? How do you not want that jersey?
Because you just said it. You just proved it. Baker Mayfield will eat into that. That's exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah. But I just think a lot of people are going to be buying Browns jerseys because there's probably a lot of closets out there, sea to shining sea, that don't have Browns jerseys in them. A lot more closets have Raider jerseys in them. So, you know what? I've been waiting for 30 years to buy a Browns jersey. Now's the time to get one. I'll go get Odell Beckham. I think that's going to be the attitude.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.